This is the Bagley Flyers News with your hosts, Remy Skuse with the lunch menu, Livy Tigey with the positive action word of the week, Ruby Schnellbach with Journey Through America, Ari Bushy with the Literacy Zone and our camera person, Carter Deardahl with sports, Gavin Wagner with sports, Jesse Durkin with the Orbit Report, Elsie Larson with announcements and the Critter Corner.
The lunch menu for this week is, on Monday, Sloppy Joe with whole grain bun, potato wedges, baby carrots, and peaches. On Tuesday, mini corn dogs, cheesy potatoes, fresh veggies, and fruit cocktail. On Wednesday, barbecue rib on a whole grain bun, potato smiles, fresh veggies, and pears. On Thursday, chicken nuggets, mashed potatoes with gravy, fresh veggies, applesauce, and bread. On Friday, quesadilla, black beans with salsa, fresh veggies, and pineapple. Bon appetit.
Here's this week's Journey Through America. This week we are going to rapid fire through the southwest region of the U.S., which includes Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and Oklahoma. Arizona's state capital is Phoenix. Arizona became the 48th U.S. state in 1912. It is the sixth largest state geographically. Its population is over 7.5 million, which ranks 14th in the U.S. for the number of people. New Mexico's state capital is Santa Fe. New Mexico became the 47th U.S. state in 1912. It is the fifth largest state geographically. Its population is over 2.1 million, which ranks 37th in the U.S. for the number of people. Oklahoma's state capital is Oklahoma City. Oklahoma became the 46th U.S. state in 1907. It is the 20th state geographically. Its population is over 4 million, which ranks 28th in the U.S. for number of people. Texas's state capital is Austin. Texas became the 28th U.S. state in 1845. It is the second largest state geographically. Its population is over 31 million, which ranks second in the U.S. for the number of people. You can check out the Arizona Tourism Guidebook currently available in the library. We don't have any guidebooks for New Mexico, Oklahoma, or Texas yet, but they are on the way. If you visited some cool places and would like to add your picture to the wall in the library, you could either bring in a picture or have your parents email your picture to Mr. Reynolds to his email listed below. We'll hope you'll join us on our journey through America. See you for our next adventure. In our Literacy Zone, we are learning about history, culture, and geography. Throughout this unit, you'll explore how the work, resources, and economy contribute to the jobs people need and want, and how the natural resources are used, and what goods and services can be traded. Finally, you'll discover what makes cultures unique, how people share common needs and feelings, and how the world might be wonderfully diverse but deeply connected. If you're looking for book ideas about history, culture, and geography, you can ask Miss Hancy for help. Remember, reading is like a superpower. It helps your brain get stronger and lets your imagination grow. This week's positive action word of the week is truth. Truth is saying how something really is or how it really happened with nothing extra added. People need truth in the world to work properly. Truth must be in agreement with reality and make sense. Sometimes we don't want to face the truth about ourselves or what's happening in our lives, but telling ourselves the truth is an important step toward feeling good about who we are. Being honest with ourselves is the first and most important step in making positive choices. Without being truthful with ourselves, it's hard to make good decisions or feel good about the things we do. It's also important to be truthful with others. That means owning up to something we've done, like breaking something accidentally or telling someone something they need to hear, like they have food in their teeth. Truth equals courage and builds stable connections. That's the positive action word of the week, truth.
I'm Carter.
And I'm Gavin.
And here's what's happening in sports this week.
Congratulations to the Bagley Elementary robotics teams, the Swedish Fish and Bro Stash, on making it to state last weekend. Great job this year. Unfortunately, the Flyers boys basketball team lost to the North Home Kelly or Mustangs last weekend, ending their season. We congratulate the Bagley team on a terrific season. We can't wait to cheer you on next year. Thank you, seniors. Good luck in the future.
In professional sports this week, the Timberwolves play the LA Lakers, LA Clippers, Golden State Warriors, and Oklahoma City Thunder. Minnesota's soccer team FC United Loons play the Vancouver Whitecaps FC.
In hockey this week, the Wild play the Utah Mammoth, Philadelphia Flyers, New York Rangers, and Toronto Maple Leafs. The Frost, Minnesota's two-time defending champ professional hockey team, play the Seattle Torrent and the New York Sirens.
This week we spotlight Olympic medal winners in Italy. From Arizona, 4 players captured gold medal with the men's USA hockey team. Austin Matthews and the brothers Matthew and Brady Tkachuk from Scottsdale, and Tage Thompson from Phoenix. From New Mexico, there were 2 Olympians. Unfortunately, neither were able to make home a medal. From Texas, there were 2 Olympians who took home a medal. Hannah Bilka from Coppell won a gold medal in the U.S. women's hockey team, and Alea Myers-Taylor from New Brunswick won a gold medal in the women's monobob bobsled competition.
Please check the athletics calendar on the school's website for your favorite social media platform to stay on schedule with dates, times, and opponents for upcoming Flyers activities. That's our sports wrap-up. Now go make your own highlights.
It's time for the Orbit Report, where we give you fun facts about planets and what to look for in phases of the moon. We have made our way around the galaxy twice. At the beginning of the school year, we gave you a mnemonic device to remember the planets in order. A mnemonic device helps you remember things more easily, and each word in the sentence starts with the same letter as the planets in order. The planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. The mnemonic device is "My very excellent mother just served us nachos." For the moon phase this week, it will be in a waning gibbous phase. This is the first phase after the full moon. It lasts roughly 7 days, with the moon's illumination growing smaller each day. The moon has an illumination of 68% and is currently 20 days into its 29-day cycle. That's this week's trip around the Orbit Report. Until next time, shine on.
Here are this week's announcements. We want to say a big thank you to Lisa Kassman for taking time to visit Bagley Elementary last week to share her wonderful book, Buddy and His Big Truck. Lisa read her book to all students kindergarten through 2nd grade and told us amazing stories about her life. Meeting a real author helps us understand that books come from real people with real stories. If you haven't read Buddy and His Big Truck yet, ask Mrs. Hansey in our library to help you find it. Don't forget to keep collecting those pop tabs for the Ronald McDonald House. Bring your pop tabs to Mrs. Lugger's 5th grade classroom. The grade that collects most pop tabs will earn a prize. Collecting ends on April 30th. Here's the current update.
Here's an update on our pop tabs. First place is 2nd grade. Second place is 3rd grade. And then 3rd place is kindergarten.
You have been reading The One School, One Book, The Mouse and the Motorcycle by Beverly Cleary for about a week now. Here's Mrs. Larson with some fun facts about the book.
The elementary. So let's start learning a little bit more about the book that we're reading, The Mouse and the Motorcycle. So our book is written by a lady of the name of Beverly Cleary. So let's start learning a little bit more about our author and our story. So who was Beverly Cleary? Well, Beverly Cleary was a famous author who wrote books for children. She was born a long time ago in 1916 in a small town in the state of Oregon. And she grew up loving to read and write stories as a young girl. But something interesting about Beverly is that she actually struggled in her elementary years learning how to read. In fact, she even remembers having a special class she had to go to help her read. And guess what? It actually worked. By the end of 3rd grade, she was a voracious reader and soon a voracious writer. The library was actually her favorite place to be, no surprise. And when she grew up, she decided she wanted to write books that kids would enjoy to read. So she wrote many popular books that we still know today, like The Mouse and the Motorcycle. She also wrote Beezus and Ramona and Henry Huggins, among many others. And we have many of those in our library. Beverly began a new way of writing books for children. Back then, when she started writing, most books were fantasy or historical fiction. But Beverly wanted to focus her books on more relatable characters in funny or serious situations. And this made her a hero to countless children, many of whom wrote her fan mail. And despite the pleas from her editors, Beverly insisted to answer all of her fan mail by hand herself. And she did this for 30 years. And she read all of her letters too. And she credits a lot of her inspiration for her books from the letters she received from her fans, like us. So why did she write The Mouse and the Motorcycle? Where did that come from? Well, the story and the characters were inspired by both Beverly Cleary's son, because she later on had a son, and while he was recovering from being sick for a long time, he was playing with little cars and little motorcycles. And then her neighbor had come over and shown her how a small mouse had got trapped inside a waste paper basket. And she kind of put the two ideas together, which is pretty cool to think. Beverly Cleary continued to write most of her life, and she died at the age of 104. She ended up writing 39 books, and they were been translated into 14 different languages, so people around the world can read her books. And they're in more than 20 different countries. Many of her stories have been adapted for film or television, meaning that you can watch a movie that's based on a book that she wrote, which is pretty cool. And here at Bagley Elementary, we are reading one of her books right now, The Mouse and the Motorcycle. And I like to think that Beverly Cleary would have just loved knowing that. Good luck reading, and until next time, see you later.
Congratulations to those students who leveled up in Lexia this week and to the ICU Weekly winners. We celebrate your accomplishments throughout the school. The third annual March Book Madness brought to you by Mrs. Alexander continues this week. Vote each day to help determine which book will move on to the next round until we get to the March Book Madness winner. The book matchups this week are: on Monday, continuing the opening round, it's Buffalo Fuffalo and Puffalo versus The Man Who Didn't Like Animals. On Tuesday, Don't Trust Fish versus Goats Afloat. On Wednesday, The Snow Thief versus Snack, Snooze, Skedaddle, How Animals Get Ready for Winter. On Thursday, the quarterfinals start with Bear Suit Turtle versus The Quacken. And on Friday, Humble Pie versus Aggie and the Ghost. Finally, in our Critic Corner, we are going to look at the world's happiest animal, the quokka. They are the happiest animal because of the big smile on their face. In fact, there are over 20,000 quokka selfies on Instagram, #quokkainspiration. The cousin of the kangaroo and wallaby, they move around by hopping on their hind legs, have short tails, carry their babies in little pouches, and live in Western Australia. Finally, quokkas can go for weeks without eating by living off the fat stored in their short tails. They can also go for months without drinking fresh water, extracting water from plants. Stay cheerful, my people. I'll be back with more happy headlines. Time to bounce. I'm out of here. Have a good week.
Thank you for watching our latest newscast. If you enjoyed our news, please show your support by liking and subscribing. Also, don't forget to hit the notification button so you don't miss any new post.